Um, hey guys, um, it's Seth. Welcome back to the channel. Um, so I know you guys have been probably wondering where I have been. Um, yeah, so these past 2 months have been really busy. I have been doing a whole bunch of traveling. I went to Belize. Um, can you Belize it? Yes, I've moved from one room to another, and that's been a lot of work, so welcome to the new space. Yes, I just wanted to make this little intro before we get into the new video because it's been a while, and I just want to say hey. So anyway, without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, edit this part out. Okay. Oh, come here, come here, come here. Oh, you're so cute. Come give your auntie a kiss. Mwah. Oh, it's so good to see you. So good to see you. You know, you and your mom, I mean, me and your mom have been talking up a storm about you. About how you've been growing, about how you have been excelling at school. Wow, you are just so big. Um, yes, yes, yes. Paul is in the kitchen. He's getting his things, getting his cocktail. You know him. He's always got a drink. Yeah, so how you been? You been good? Good, good, good. Anyway, so yes, happy Thanksgiving. It's Thanksgiving, I decided, and I just want to say I'm so excited to get to eat with you and I tell you all the stories that have been going on. Oh, I have to start with this story. So, picture this. Paul and I are at the supermarket and we are in line. Paul's buying this guava drink. I've never heard of the thing. It's like this thing where it's like they take the guava and they it and and they put it in this drink, and I'm like, Paul, why are you gonna buy this drink? I think it's the weirdest thing. It's got like pieces of it in it. And Paul's like, I Shannon, let me buy this. Let me have one thing in my life. I say, okay, Paul, you can have the drink if I get the yacht. I'm just joking. I'm just joking with him, a little banter. And anyway, so we're in line. It's the only thing we're buying. I don't know why we're in the supermarket. And I'm not kidding. I turn around, and there is Paul's first grade math teacher. Yes, yes. And I'm like, what small world, small world. Like, what is Paul's math teacher doing here? Anyway, so we start talking. We start talking, and Paul's like, "Oh, how you doing, Mrs. Paul's math teacher, whoever it was. I don't even know her last name." And she's like, "Paul, how you been? It's been so many years." And I'm like, "Wow, Paul's getting old. I saw something." And then I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Paul's teacher, I look in the car, and Paul's teacher has the exact same drink that Paul is getting. Yes, yes. And I'm saying, there is no way. There is absolutely no way. And so, anyway, so we buy the drink, and we go outside, and we're in the car, because the car's outside, and Paul takes a sip of the drink. Paul takes a sip of the drink. He goes, and Paul says, "Oh, I don't like it." I say, "Paul, what? Paul, we've done this whole thing inside the supermarket, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't like it." Anyway, it was just wild running to Paul's math teacher and then buying the drink and then not even liking it. I don't know. Yeah, anyway. Oh, that reminds me. Okay. Let me set the scene. The year is 1939. It's me and your mum. We're in a speakeasy, and we, just two girls out in the town, and we a couple drinks in. Your mum had a Manhattan. Me, I had a Cosmo, and we're sitting there, and we're at the bar talking to the bartender. He's this cute little man, and your mom being your mum, she orders another Manhattan. She does. She does. And, I'm like, slow down, slow down. You already had one. And she gets the Manhattan. And she takes a sip of it. And she realizes that the bartender did not put any ice in it. There was no ice in the drink. And we're like, what kind of service is this? What kind of service is this? And so your mom flags the bartender down. She's like, hi, can you just tell me what's going on in this drink? And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is she doing? What is she doing? Your mom, she crazy. And so she's like, do you mind taking a look in my drink and telling me what is missing? And the bartender, I'm not joking. I'm not joking. The bartender goes, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put any ice in it. And the bartender takes a drink and he puts some ice in it and he says, this one's on me. And so your mum, she got a free drink because the bartender didn't put any ice in the drink. Wild. Just wild. Anyway, I'm talking your ear off. How have you been? I mean, I know I already asked you that, but emotionally, how have you been? Nice. Anyway, oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so sorry. I have another story. Okay, so it's me and your wacky Uncle Paul, and you know us. We live in Connecticut, and it's a bit of a drive, getting there and back. And so we're home. We just got back from this dinner with these two old friends that we've known for a while. And we walk in the house, and our little Pomeranian, she's running around the house. She's so excited that we're home. And Paul picks up the dog. Because we just got home. And how's the dog? And it's like, oh, well, how I've missed you. Paul being silly as he is, your uncle. And Paul holds the dog. The dog is this close from Paul's face, and the dog takes a literal bite out of Paul's nose and rips off his nose. Like, Paul is just bleeding everywhere. Everywhere, gushing blood. And I'm like, oh my, this is nothing we've ever seen before. And I say, Paul, do you want me to call the police? And Paul's screaming because the dog just literally took a bite out of his nose. And so I say, okay, Paul, if you're not going to answer me, I'm gonna call the police. Being silly as I am. And so I call the police. 911 because it's an emergency and all that. And Paul takes the dog and it sets it down and is gushing blood. I mean, it's just pouring out of his nose, like pouring out. And so I go and I get these paper towels or this rag or something. I don't know. It's been a while. And I say, Paul, put this over your nose because you're gonna get blood all through the house and it's gonna track on our shoes. And you're making a scene. You're making a mess. And so Paul, he puts. I'm not joking. He puts the rag or the paper towels, whatever it is, I can't remember, over his nose, and the bleeding stopped, and Paul is saying, I can't believe the dog did that. I don't know what we're going to have to do. And I say, Paul, the ambulance is on its way. It's okay. Quit what you're doing. Quit what you're doing. And so the ambulance gets there, and Paul is crying. Uncle Paul, he's so stoic and he doesn't show emotion a lot, and he doesn't say I love you anymore to me. And anyway, so we go to the hospital and the doctor says, Paul, I'm so sorry, but you don't have a nose anymore. And so Paul doesn't have a nose anymore, and that's how Uncle Paul lost his nose. So please don't make any jokes about him. Anyway, yeah, so it's Thanksgiving, so let's get into the Thanksgiving spirit. Pulling out, like I said, we've had a rough patch, so Uncle Paul's not here, of course. And we actually are getting a divorce. Surprise. It's been hard on both of us. We tried couples therapy for a while, and it just wasn't working. I mean, it just came down to, even before the dog thing, we were having troubles, and there were just moments when Paul just wouldn't come home from work, and I asked him one day. I said, "Paul, why are you not coming home after work? I just think I need to know where you've been. It's just that we're married and all this stuff." And Paul says, that, get this, Paul, Uncle Paul, has been at a bowling tournament. He's been at a bowling tournament, and I thought he was having an affair on me. But no, Paul has joined a bowling league, and he has been going to bowling practices. You know, he's been doing his whole thing. I know, it just pops out of nowhere, and I don't know why he decides to do these things that he does, but Uncle Paul being who he is. Talking a lot about Paul, aren't I? But yeah, no. But yeah, it's really, that's the reason. He really should have told me where he was going, even though he wasn't having an affair. He should have told me that he was going to do those things, because it became like 4 days out of the week when he just wasn't home, and I didn't want to be that type of person who would be like, "Paul, I didn't want to ask," but then it got to that, so yeah. But yeah, we are getting a divorce, and yeah. Sorry, I just need a second. Sorry, I don't know what we were. I don't know what we were talking about anymore. Happy Thanksgiving.